Okay, you guys, good morning. Um Sorry about that. It's raining cats and dogs today. Um Probably not going to do a whole lot of work today. Um I'm going to get on the clock, but I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of work today, you guys, since it's raining and I had some objectives to do some work on the outside for work. But I wanted to get on here to kind of talk about how we have to stop rewarding men for doing the bare minimum, and I think I really blame these women out here who just give men access for free because these men think that all women should tolerate their low tier effort. Ladies, if these men don't want to show up for you in your life, you're not obligated to deal with them, and you're not obligated to give them your time, your energy, your body, like nothing. And these men have shown that they cannot be trusted. I don't understand, why men think that you are owed something. You're not owed anything from a woman. But if you want to have access to a woman, you're going to have to put in the work and effort. And you men just are lazy. You think because you're talking to a woman on a phone deserves you some cheeks. I'm sorry to tell you, a woman with standards and morals and value, she's not going to sleep with you. She's not going to sleep with you. And it just further proves what types of women out here are giving these men access. And it just further proves what type of men are out here thinking that because they're talking to a woman, this is entitlement for sex. With everything going on with all these STDs out here, I am not interested in sleeping with a man who isn't going to be my husband. And since I don't desire to get married, I see no need to have sex with a man. I see no need in getting out here pursuing anything with you men, especially when I know for a fact I'm never going to get married and I don't want any more children. And I have told you guys that sex is really preserved for husband and wife and procreation. It is not a recreational activity that we should be indulging in openly and freely, because look at what's going on right now. All of these people who are just out here having reckless sex, they're coming up with all kind of STDs. And just because you use a condom, men, doesn't mean you're not playing a dangerous game, because fornication in itself is a sin. And some of us out here are choosing to be celibate for religious reasons. Some of us out here are choosing to be celibate for religious reasons. But you men, some of you have convinced yourself that women who are out here practicing celibacy are ran through, and or we're getting our backs blown out by other types of men. There is no one fit all situation when it comes to me. I don't care what kind of man you are. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what you're trying to offer. If you're not looking for marriage and you're not looking for anything committable for the long haul, I'm not interested in pursuing anything with you. And my thing is, if your words and actions are not matching, I'm not interested in pursuing anything with you. But you know, you men, you get out here and you breadcrumble women. You give women this false sense of hope and dreams and illusions that you know that you're never ever going to be able to match when it comes to this woman's standards and morals and values. At the end of the day, you don't put in the work, you don't put in the effort, you don't get to have access to a woman. That's just what it is. You talking to a woman is not the equivalent of you getting sex. And if you're out here having sex with women who are just sitting up talking to you on the phone, good for them. Somebody's got to still deal with you, men. Somebody still got to deal with you. Not all of us are going to go 4B, and not all of us are going to practice celibacy. So some woman's going to get out here and have sex with you to give you what you're looking for. But women who have standards and morals and values, we're not going to risk ourselves out here for you men. And the way how it is out here with you men in dating, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in any of you men. I realize the benefit in dealing with most of you is not really worth the stress. I would rather and intentionally, purposely keep my legs closed than to sleep with any of you men out here. Between your views on women and your hatred of women and your lack of emotional intelligence, followed by your poverty that most of you have, where you're not providers, you can't provide, you don't have the financial resources to take care of a woman, less more of a family. And a lot of you men's chaotic, traumatic energy that you're bringing when you're meeting women, I'm not interested. Like I told you guys yesterday, I don't have a dream man. I don't have an idea man. I'm not looking for a man at all, period. I have chosen my career over dealing with you men. That's it. Because I realize that dealing with the majority of you is not only a liability, it is a burden. I'm also learning that women who are dealing with you are signing up for death, literally, dealing with most of you men. And I mean literally death. If they're not being mentally and emotionally abused, they're being financially abused. And if they're not being financially abused and disempowered, they're going through all kinds of health issues, risking their autoimmune systems to all kind of health issues due to chronic fatigue and chronic stress of dealing with you men in unpaid labor in relationships and marriages. In shorter terms, you men don't benefit women at all. The majority of you don't benefit women at all. You don't bring value in women's lives. You're not actually enhancing women's lives to make their lives better than what they're doing, nor can you actually legitimately match what women are doing. You are just a burden and you are a liability to most women. And women are taking a huge gamble and a risk dealing with you men, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Each and every time one of you decides to lay down with one of these men, you don't know what you're going to get, ladies. You don't know what type of man you're going to deal with. You don't know what he's coming with when you get involved with him, because you're dealing with this man's emotions, feelings, past, trauma, like the whole 9 yards. You're dealing with all of that. And not only are you dealing with all of that, you're dealing with all of his situations that he's had with other women, unresolved trauma. You're dealing with unresolved trauma of these men. Any cords that he has with other women prior to meeting you. And then a lot of these men are coming with soul ties, STDs, and STIs. And y'all are laying down, opening up your legs, sleeping with these men because they look good, because they tell you what they want you to hear. But it's doing the bare minimum thinking, because they talk to you or they take you to a cheap, inexpensive date. That is brownie points for them to have sex with you. You men are, like I said, you're not owed anything. You're not owed one thing from a woman because you're doing the bare minimum. It's the lack of effort, and it's the lack of respect, and it is the lack of boundaries for me why I'm good on dealing with you men, because you don't respect boundaries. That's why you're never ever going to work out with women, men, because you don't respect boundaries. Women can tell you all day what their boundaries are, and you men will still continue to try to challenge that. You will still continue to disrespect that woman's boundaries. And then you get up online and you complain about why you don't have a wife and why you don't have a girlfriend. And then you complain about why you're going through a male loneliness epidemic, instead of actually sitting down, reflecting on why women are not choosing you. It is your approach, it is your behavior, it is your perspective. And ladies, I hate to say this, a lot of these men have been sitting down listening to red pill content. And by them sitting down listening to red pill content, a lot of their minds are just brain rotted. It's just brain rotted because they're listening to other men tell them about how to deal with women, thinking that that approach is going to get them in a relationship. When in actuality, I can just easily spot you red pill types of men. And the minute I spot you, I block you and I ghost you, because no woman wants to deal with a man who's coming in with these negative views and thoughts about women. And you're showing how insecure and fragile you are, men. But it is the audacity and the entitlement of you men to sit down and think, because you are talking to a woman, she has to have sex with you. Ladies, these men have no hindsight. They're just ready to put themselves in anything that they see that's wet with a hole. And I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't met one man who has legitimately tried to sleep with me ever asked me, am I STD clean? Never, you guys. I've never had not one man who has ever tried to smash the kingdom ever asked me, are you STD clean? Do you have anything? When's the last time you've been to the doctor? Every man who has ever approached me trying to have sex with me did not care about my health status, did not care about my health in general, never mentioned anything about a condom. Just if Akina looks good, I just want to smash her. That was their mentality. You ladies need to prioritize your health and your own well-being. Start asking these men when's the last time they've been to the doctor, when's the last time they got an STD test done. You need to straight out and tell these men you're not going to sleep with them unless they use protection. I mean, you're going to have to really, really set some strong boundaries out here, ladies. These men do not care about any of that. All they care about is getting their wet. That's all they care about. You opening up your legs to them and getting and them getting off in you. That's it. And they don't care if you have anything. They're not, they don't care. All they care about is getting in between the legs of you. And like I said, it just further proves what types of men we're out here really dealing with. Men who are controlled by lust and ego, men who clearly don't care about their health. Because if these men cared about their health, they would show women that they don't have anything. They would go and get STD tested, right? And have their papers on them. And I'm not talking about photogenic papers, men. I'm talking about where your doctor's name and the date you went to see her and your labs and all of that is on there. Ladies, these men don't even want to show you a background report. And here's my thing with that, men. If I ask you for a background report and you don't want to show me your background report, we're not meeting. We're not meeting at all. I don't meet men unless background checks are done. So if you don't want to go and get a background check done on yourself, then why do you think I should trust you around me? And if I'm willing to show you my background report, you should be willing to show me yours. But no, I don't meet men at public places or on dates unless background checks are done. Meaning you need to attach your background check in a PDF. And I'm not talking about Epstein or PDF files, right? I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about when I say PDF. You need to, and I know a lot of you men are not computer savvy like that to understand these acronyms or these words that I'm saying. You need to get your background checked. There are different apps out there that you can go and get your background checks done at for little or nothing. Some of them come with monthly or annual subscriptions. Get a background check done on yourself. You need to save it in your phone, your own personal background check, attach it in a PDF file, and you need to send it to my phone. And then once you do that, I'll send you my background report. Who you say you are and all of your information should match that background check. If you say that your name is Johnny Appleseed, well, then that's what should show up on your background check. And some of these background checks, they come with very, very extensive, detailed information like marriage, criminal, et cetera, even your last places of employment. And here's where I'm at with this, ladies. If these men can go on their jobs and do their jobs and deal with their bosses and do whatever their bosses ask them to do, why can't they do this with women? Why can't they listen to women and do what women are asking them to do? And all parties should do this, not just men. All parties should do this. You as a man, you shouldn't meet a woman unless you know if she's safe for you to be around. You shouldn't meet a woman unless you get a background check done on her. I don't know if you guys know about the young man who's been missing from here over a week, where he went to go meet a young girl at a house, at a party or some sort, and he's been missing since June 8th, June 9th, or something like that. Why do these men think we're supposed to trust them openly and freely if they're trying to have access around us? No, men, that's not how it works. You don't want to get the background check done, then I'm not obligated to meet you. Ladies, do not share your personal information with these men, such as your place of employment, where you live, any of that. Because the more information that these men know about you without you disclosing it to them, the more they're going to stalk and harass you, especially if things don't work out with you and him. I don't tell men anything about anything with me and my job, not to the level of degree, where I'm sharing a lot of personal information with these men. I don't even discuss my financial business with them. And luckily, I work from home. I work from home. So my information is out there, in a database compared to, you guys who actually have to get verified through an actual place of employment, which I had to do all that. But what I'm saying is, you have to go to your job every day to prove yourself and your work ethics. Me, I work from home. I don't have to go into an office setting. My home is my office setting. But you ladies who work and you have to go to work and do a job in person, your safety is counting on you not disclosing anything to these men that, you know, you don't want to share with them. And these men just continuously walk around and, they just don't understand that just because you're safe by looks doesn't mean that you're safe on paper or you're safe in personality or any of that. And women have a right to know who they're going to be around and who they're going to be exposed to. And if you men don't want to do the background report or STD checks, then don't think that you are entitled to a woman. And like I said, women can set their standards all day with you men, boundaries all day with you men. But you, instead of respecting this woman's boundaries, some of you men will just continuously keep trying to overcross boundaries and things like that. And this is why many of you are losing out on women, because you don't listen to women and you don't respect boundaries. And I am not going to reason with anyone who's being disrespectful. You can't respect my boundaries, then I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to cut you off. You're not going to get any more of my time, my energy, or anything if you can't respect my boundaries. Ladies, tell these men your boundaries one time and one time only. They can't respect them, walk the other direction. If these men care about you as much as they say they do, they will show you that in action instead of words. And anybody with a brain would know that you would not just get out here and randomly sleep with somebody without getting tested and them getting tested and you both showing each other's test results. Anybody with the brain would know not to go and meet a man off of on an online dating app or anywhere without getting a background check done prior to meeting this man. This is why women are coming up missing and men, because people are meeting each other without properly vetting, and then you're setting yourself up in dangerous situations, such as what happened to this young man. Met a woman on an online dating app and went to go meet her, and now is gone, and the family here is trying to find him. And yet men expect women to just trust them. Men just expect women to just trust them. It's not how it works, men. You have to prove that you are somebody that a woman can trust. And until you men show women that, then you're not going to get access to a woman. These men, ladies, they can beg me all day for sex. They're never going to get it. And the reason why you men are never going to get it is because if you don't see me in your future and you don't actually want to build with me, and I'm talking about actually for the long haul, where there is commitment and there is marriage and there's all these things in place, you're not going to get sex from me. But it is the delusion of these men to think that women, when women like me say that we're celibate, they automatically assume, oh, Akina must be getting her back blown out. I've had men tell me, oh, you must be giving your cat to somebody else. Nigga, I'm not giving my cat to nobody, less more you. But whatever helps you men sleep at night, I hope it helps you sleep at night. It's the delusion and it is the entitlement that you think you are owed sex because you are talking to a woman, to a woman you never met. You talking behind a phone, behind a cell phone or a computer is not getting to know somebody. You men need to shut down the phones and the computers, and you need to actually get out here and touch some grass. Meaning, you actually need to put in the work to get to know a woman in person. Take her out on a date and get to know her instead of trying to smash her because you're talking on a phone. And this little bare minimum effort that you men keep giving women, what is that? Because you take her to Olive Garden or somewhere cheap, you think that that is equivalent to getting some cheeks. Whatever, I'm the type of woman, whatever you paid for the meal, I'm going to just throw the money back in your face and walk out of the restaurant and never see you again. No dates, no courting, no effort, but these men think that they are entitled to women. Maybe you men should get some self esteem and get some confidence instead of trying to get up in women's face. You don't want to put in the effort, you don't want to actually court and get to know a woman, then don't think she owes you her. I'm not, better yet, I'll even take it a step further. I don't even talk to men who don't even put in effort. You're not going to get my time or day. You don't want to put in the effort to get to know me. We're not going to be talking. We're not going to be talking. I don't talk to men who can't hold emotional, intelligent conversations. I don't talk to men who can't hold intellectual conversations. So if you think texting me good morning, and ladies, let me just show you how lazy they are. Not the GOOD morning with the little emoji at the end. No, they want to text you GM, GD afternoon, GN, which is good night. And this is all day these men are texting good morning. Oh, and what are you doing? Not the what are you doing question mark. It's now WYD. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what would Jesus do? It's none of that. It's none of that. It's none of the what would Jesus do is yeah, what would Jesus do? I know what Jesus would tell me to block this man because he can't even hold a conversation. And a lot of you men cannot hold a stimulating conversation with a woman. At least if you're going to text good morning, send some money with that good morning text. Send some money with a good afternoon text. Invite the woman out for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You men have no creativity, you have no skills, you have no interpersonal skills, but you're all up in women's relationships and faces. You're all up in women's business. when you can't even hold a conversation to even draw in a woman. And that's why women are saying that you men are boring, because most of you are boring. You are boring. You're boring. You're definitely boring. No personality. She has to initiate the conversations because you don't know how to. But all you know how to do is put yourself inside of a woman and think because you are doing that, that's good enough for you and your masculinity. Oh, ladies, when I tell you it feels good to be single, it really does. Because I really don't have to deal with none of this low vibrational shit. I really don't. I honestly think that these men are living in fantasy land. They have these crazy things in their mind about what they want to do with women and how they see women, but they actually don't manifest these things in reality. You can sit down and tell me all day what you want to do for me, but until you actually do it, it means nothing to me. You can sit down and tell me all day, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to buy you this, I'm going to buy you that. Make all these empty promises and give me false hope. But until you actually do it, it means nothing to me. I don't believe anything that comes out of a man's mouth because 9 times out of 10, ladies, it is a lie. And until these men actually step up and do what they say they're going to do, it means nothing to. It's just hot. And all they're doing online right now is blowing off hot air, projecting and blowing out hot air and not taking accountability and still blaming women for their shortcomings. And women are sick and tired of that, men. Oh, I'm going to do this for you and I'm going to do that for you. But it hasn't gotten done yet though, sir. You haven't did anything that you said you were going to do for me. That's called breadcrumbing, and that's called manipulation. I tell you, the world would be a whole lot better if less of these men were here. And I will stand on that hill until the day I die. That less of you men here would make things a whole lot better. I promise you, you would not hear the complaints of women right now if less of you were here. And ladies, we're the only ones who can stop this. You do realize that we're the only ones who can put an end to all of this by stop having by not having so many of these men. Y'all keep bringing these men here on the planet and they're not doing shit for you or the planet. Y'all got to stop having these men. Y'all have got to stop having these men and bringing them here because they don't want to be here and they hate you. And they hate that their existence is here. Between the jealousy, the enviness with these men, the lack of empathy and sympathy in regards for women, why do y'all keep dealing with these men? A lot of these men have narcissistic personality issues. They're antisocial. I mean, there's just all kind of mental stuff going on with these men because something is psychologically wrong with these men out here. And I have told y'all that. I have told y'all that there is something going on with these men mentally, why they are like this. This is not a learned behavior. This is a mental health issue that we're dealing with. Damn, a male loneliness epidemic. I honestly think that a lot of these men are dealing with a mental crisis. I just got to be honest. Because a lot of them have never sat in front of a therapist and have ever been told about their behavior. They have never been told about their behavior. They have never been diagnosed by a licensed professional, such as a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and so on. And they're just running around in civilization, unhinged and unwired, erratic, and causing harm on the planet. Because we're really dealing with men who have mental health problems. Why do you think you see a why do you think it's called mental illness? What's the first three letters in the word mental? Men. And that's exactly what they're causing a lot of you women. Illnesses. They're driving y'all crazy. You're walking around here with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, lupus, and all of these different autoimmune disorders and neurological disorders. Behind what? A man. A man is causing this for you. Menopause, a man. Hysterectomy, a man. Mental illnesses, a man. Menstruation, a man. Religion, just lies. Created by men. Don't y'all get it? Men are the beginning and the end of the problems here on the planet. And if you want peace, you have to eliminate men. And I'm not talking about getting out here going on some kind of purge. I'm talking about stop dealing with them. You're never going to have peace when you're dealing with the man because they don't bring peace. They bring chaos, violence, wars, poverty, strife, and stress. You're never legitimately going to have peace with a man. You cannot bring a penis and peace in the home with the man. Ladies, you're never going to get it. You're never going to have peace dealing with a man. Never. You're never ever going to get it, honey. The only women who have peace are the women who have decentered men. That's it. And the women who are out here raising their children, who are literally out here raising their children. Because even these men who have children with these women, do you know these men still try to run their houses, even though that woman has gone on with her life? And a lot of these men really legitimately don't want those women to be happy. Men are just miserable people. And what I've learned about the majority of men of today, and just in general with their nature, they just come with this dark cloud, and they bring this dark cloud to women. This is why your little happy home that you have becomes disrupted the minute you bring that man into your home. The minute you bring that man into your home, that is when you begin to have problems within your home. Your clean home, fresh linen home, your safe and sanctuary becomes disrupted the minute you bring that masculine energy into it. You're just never ever going to have peace dealing with a man. Never have peace dealing with the man. And I have told you, ladies, that do not live with these men, do not marry these men, do not have children with these men. You set the terms and rules and how you're going to deal with these men. And what I've learned is men and women who live in two separate homes, it tends to work out. Women who set their own terms and how they're going to deal with men, it tends to work out. So that's right, men. You can't measure up to what this woman is asking of you, then you can hit the road, Jack. I straight out and tell men I'm not having sex with them unless we're married. You're not living with me. You need your own home. I'm not giving you any children. So if you're looking for children or you don't want to deal with the quote unquote pre made family, then go find a child free woman to have children with. But stop expecting women to just deal with you because you exist. You existing means nothing to me. I need to know what kind of character you are when the mask come off. What kind of personality traits I'm dealing with here before I allow you access not only in my life but around my children. Because you damn sure ain't coming in my home. You're not coming in my home like that. You ladies just need to deal with men on your terms, on your conditions and your rules. I have terms, conditions, and rules for dealing with these men. And what I've learned is keeping these men out of my space tends to work. Ladies, the ball is in your court. And how you want to deal with these men. The ball is literally in your court. Because if these men are not benefiting you in any kind of way, they're just going to be dead weight that's going to sink your life. And that's the thing they don't understand. The bare minimum is just not enough. You don't want to put in the work and effort, men, you don't get to have access to women. Baby, I will revolt that energy back so quick. The minute I start seeing those red flags, I'm out. I am OUT out. I am out. You will not be getting my time and energy thinking you're going to have access to me with that bare minimum shit. We ain't texting, we ain't talking, nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can roll on. I become unavailable to unavailable men, especially emotionally unavailable men. Like when I start seeing all those mixed signals and hot and cold and wishy-washy behavior and you don't want to check that and you still with that, I am out. You can't respect my boundaries, I am OUT out. I'm pulling back and you will not get my time or energy. You can text and talk to me all day, be on my phone. I'm not going to engage with you. Ladies, please be safe out here because between all of these unhinged males, because we're not dealing with men out here, we're dealing with males who don't know responsibility or accountability or emotional intelligence and maturity. And they're just running around here just really wild. And it's so cringe to me how they just think that they are entitled to women. You ain't entitled to nothing, man. Women don't women don't owe you men anything. Nothing. And between all these STDs, ladies, keep your legs closed. Keep your legs closed. Be safe, ladies.